Welcome everyone to the Teacher's Table. Super excited to be here with all of you. If you're brand new or if you're catching this after the fact, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments below. If you're new here, definitely use the chat box to the side. I'd love to hear who's all here watching and joining us at the Teacher's Table. We're just getting started here, so we'll give it a sec, but yeah, let's get started. We got some great people already queuing up here. We have Carrie here. Awesome to have you back. Carrie actually pointed out I had this scheduled wrong the other day. I had this scheduled for yesterday, not today. Whew, that was a almost miss there. Jennifer Knox, good to see you here. Hope things are going well with you in your classroom. Candace, love seeing you here. And we have Amanda Gray back. That's fabulous. Lauren, so glad you made it again back to the table. So, I mean, just to get started, let's toss out some things like, how is everybody? How is everybody doing? This is our Monday motivational check-in, and I'm curious what you guys are experiencing in your school, how you're feeling, you know, personally, how you're feeling professionally. I will tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy teaching in and during this COVID time, but I think if we sort of refocus our attention a little bit, this can kind of be a pretty cool moment, I guess, right? I think about a little bit this idea of what did we get into this for, right? We got into this, I think, for kids, right? To make a difference. You know, that was definitely our purpose and our passion here was teaching and being educators. And when you think about the needs of kids today, given the uncertainty of the world we live in, kind of the scary times we live in, all the corona stuff that's happening, if you think about it, like, our purpose is super important right now. If you think about it, right? The reason we got into this, it's like doubled the purpose. So if we focus on that we're making a difference in kids' lives and the role we play is ultra important, I think that this can help us, I don't know, get through some stuff. Because like I said, it's pretty demanding. But this past week, when I continued to make it student-centered, when I continued to make the students the focus, the reason I do everything is these students, and try to give the students that experience, that fun moment, then everything sort of snaps into place for me and things were working out, and it's more about like how I'm growing and learning these new tools and trying new things, and seeing those kids light up, that ended up being just that much better for me, which meant it was that much better for our students. Let's see, Amanda Gray. Things at school are good this week. Just finished Make Time. Great recommendation. I loved that book. Loved that book. And there are so many suggestions. We only covered a few, and now that you've read it, you know there are so many recommendations that you could do to help make that time. So, super glad. Thomas is here. Fantastic to have you here. Candace, let's see what you have. I tried the activity you suggested, bring your own book, and it was a lot of fun. I love bring your own book. Great activity to do. You can make up your own cards, or you can buy bring your own book online. Super awesome and fun, and again, can totally be done virtually, can be done in person or hybrid. Fantastic. Let's see what Jennifer Knox has to say. Jennifer says, Mr. Matera, it was definitely not easy, but we are finding ways to solve the problems. I have been very careful about saving my energy for things that matter most. Again, kind of that make time, that highlight. What is your highlight? Mine, I actually am currently working on another YouTube project here and trying to get that all queued up and edited. I shot it today, and now I have probably like a day's worth of editing. And you could say, like, in all of this crazy time, like, why are you making time for that? That's a little bit of my highlight. That's my joy, my passion, you know, to share out ideas, to help other educators, to help change that world, make a dent in the world here is definitely a value of mine. So, like Jennifer said, making time for that's important. Mantella, good to see you here. Fun to see you. Let's see what Lauren says. Lauren says, I started gamification in my math class last week, and the kids are loving every second of math. It has been really rewarding to see students who hated math now enjoy it. Lauren, I gotta say, that's a great story. I would love to hear more about that. If you are on Twitter and can connect with me on Twitter, I would love to have a little DM conversation on the side about that. Maybe do highlight that on a Well Played. That would be awesome. The podcast Well Played would love that. So if you want to DM me on Twitter, that would be at Mr. Matera. That would be fantastic. Heather, let's see. Heather says students are the best part. Again, that focus on the students, so important. Love it. Nice. All right, so looks like I'm caught up on our comments here on the side. So, Angie made it. Nice to see you, Angie. Correct night. Were you all last night? That was just a little calendar error on my end of things. So, all right. Yeah, so again, talking about some things that are working, I thought I would share a little bit of something that's working in my classroom. Let me go over here. Boop. So this is my history website that I use. Let me get that a little placed a little better. All right, so this is my history website. I use Google Sites. Definitely something that I recommend you guys doing. It's a nice, easy, like drag and drop kind of editor. Makes things clean and easy. So I'm going to walk you through something that I think is working for my students. We're 4 weeks in, and I think they're starting to click in. They're starting to get the process. So the idea is they would come to class, sit in their seat, and we have these seats all spread apart, right? 6 feet, all that stuff. And our online students have zoomed in, right? First thing they do, they should definitely sit down, load this website. We got some, year-long sort of resources at the top, a little bit of the audio textbook, some resources like some handouts that are, important, like my sort of syllabus. I don't really call it that, but that's in there. Some video tutorials of how to do various like tech things that they might need for some side quests. Missing work, so I have them hand in work a certain way. Actually, I'm going to have a vlog coming out on that. That's my next one I'm shooting. But really nice because that will sort of tick off if people have turned in their homework. So students are empowered to know what they're missing and know what they should hand in. And then Romanos, this is at all things game related in my class. So they would click that to sort of bring that up. Past units, we're on our first unit. So there's no past units here, but I would obviously put past units. But this organizational structure is pretty nice. Then we get to this part that says lessons. All right, so like, what the heck is that about? These are stacked on top of each other, and I always put the newest one at the top. So at the beginning of the unit, we just had lesson 1 here, and that was the only thing that was there. And my lesson plan, if you will, is always the same in terms of there's an opening, class plan, that's like what we're doing in class, independent expectation, that's like my homework. So, hey, we got... I want to say hi to Jeremy. Nice to see you here. Glad you could make it. Love having you here. And I love how many people were all like, hey, this is such a great community, right? And a long day. I was telling my daughter today, she was like, you have your teacher's table tonight. I hope it seems like you had a lot of work. And I said, ooh, teacher's table's not work. Like teacher's table, my Twitter chat, what I do on Tuesdays, those fill me up. That's like hanging out with friends. And that's what I told her. So thank you so much for showing up. I love having you guys all here. All right, back to what I was saying about the organizational structure here. They all follow that sort of style. Opening, class plan is the activities we do. Independent expedition. Here's lesson 2. You can kind of see that. same thing. Lesson 3. All right, lesson 4. Lesson 5. And, ooh, somebody gave me a thumbs down. That's sad, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. A little boss battle. All right, so we have opening class plan here. And a little boss battle activity I did. That was super fun. That is actually, I just shot my last vlog on that. So you guys can check that out about how to do that boss battle. Lots of fun. And, ooh, see, I have a student here, Mandela, telling you, boss battle was fun, even though they lost. Didn't even win. But that's like what I love about gamification, too, is we can be playful. We can do all these challenges. We can kind of go through some things, unlock some certain things. But in the end, I don't know, like they're still learning and they're having a good time, whether they were successful or not. I think that's pretty empowering. Let's see. Boom. That we took our assessment today, and I call it the potato of knowledge. Had nothing to do with potatoes. This comes from the fact that I was on recess duty, and I was walking around and I was telling some students, like, you know, how you doing? You know, like they were sitting around chit-chatting, and I said, you know, what's working for you in school and how you doing? And they were like, I'm nervous. We have all these like tests and quizzes coming up. Don't we have one for you? And I was like, yeah, that's coming up. We have an assessment. And they're like, I just don't like that word assessment. I just don't like that word test or quiz. Gives me anxiety. And I said, well, like, what can we call it? And I was like, how about the potato of knowledge? And they were like, yeah, that doesn't make me nervous at all. And I was like, all right. So only these 3 girls knew about this because that was my conversation with them. And then they showed up this week, and boom, today we were doing our potato of knowledge. And the feedback I got from the students, because I'm kind of always asking students for feedback after a lesson, especially if I try something new. And the feedback they gave was great. I mean, like everybody said they really enjoyed this. That's going to actually be probably another vlog that I do. That's on my list of vlogs to complete. But this style of assessment was really fun. And that was actually the feedback. I had some kids say, like, I really enjoyed it. This was fun. It was creative. It gave us space to sort of think and do something our own way. Loved it. But again, this is us, like, trying new things and putting that student in the center. So, like, I don't know. What's helping me get through all of this difficulty, all of the workload, actually, after this, I have probably about 3 hours worth of stuff I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to bed at like midnight 1 to get everything done. But what's helping me get through that is, again, that constant focus on the student, like kind of not worrying about anything else. And what can I do to give them a great experience? And well, this was one of those things, is that organizational structure, empowering them because they can see what they're missing, trying to build out some lessons that are a little fun and creative and something different, a little twist, using some of those game techniques and mechanics. So let's see. I got to catch up on some of your guys' questions here. I see a few Mr. Materas. Jennifer Knox says, Mr. Matera, it's interesting how some see certain activities as work. I don't think I've done any work for many years. It's so true, right? If we enjoy our job, and I gotta tell you, since doing gamification, which I've been doing for a long time, it's just more playful for me to even design. It is a lot of work. Gamification is not a silver bullet to the workload of a teacher, but as you're saying, Jennifer, it sort of clicks over into our head that it's not work, it's kind of playful. It's how can I play with this? How can I build out something a little different? Let's see. We're at 8 on our goal. I guess maybe 7 because I have 8 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. On our goal to 15, if you want to help out getting us to that confetti party, smash that like. That'd be awesome. Jeremy says, oh man, I'm doing my first asynchronous boss battle this Wednesday. Love to hear how the asynchronous part goes. I usually do boss battles together, like I mean, I definitely have done the hybrid where they're online, but asynchronous I have not tried. So I'd love to hear how that goes. Love to hear more from you about that. Heather, let's see. This elementary teacher has 5 lessons per day. I'm a little jealous of this. That's so true, right? Those, oh man, Heather. I will tell you, one of my first jobs was teaching in elementary. I taught overseas in Italy, and I taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders computer techniques, and like I was the computer teacher and keyboarding and that. And then I had, on top of that, I also had, I taught like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, a robotics class, a class called diplomacy, which was really cool. It was one of my favorite classes to teach. And then after that, I got a job as a 5th grade teacher teaching all the subjects. We didn't trade for science or math or anything like that. So I taught all the subjects like you're saying, except for like art and PE. And I loved teaching those kids. It was phenomenal. It was rewarding. But oh man, are you correct? Like, and especially the upper elementary, the higher up you go. Well, I can't say this. I can't say especially because I've never taught the lower elementary. But one thing that I thought, like the higher you are in elementary, I will tell you, the closer you're coming to the middle school sort of content and like load. But like you're saying, you're 5 teachers instead of 1 teacher, right? So kudos to any elementary teacher for what you do, for sure. Let's see. Carrie says she's rolling out her first Gim kit this week, and I'm so excited for my students. I love Gim kit. Lots of options you can do there. I'm been trying to experiment with using different tools, but doing a little ed tech spin to it. Like, how can I be a little bit of a DJ and mix in my own activities or my own items and my own power-ups, or use the tool a little differently. So that's been a lot of fun to do, and GimKit will be a tool I'll use this year, and if I can, even think of a little different way I can spin it. Jeremy, I will definitely be looking for your tweet on this because I really want to hear more about it. I'm intrigued, and definitely like I'm looking forward to it, but I also wish you the best of luck on that asynchronous boss battle. I use Robus Clues this week, and it was easy way to add excitement. I don't know what that is. That's awesome. I'll have to look it up. Let's see, Jennifer Knox. Back to your original question, one of my goals was to be more playful this year with students and my colleagues. I try to find something that I'll bring joy every day. Love it, Jennifer Knox. I gotta tell you, it is the people that you do things for and the people you do things with that are what make us whole. And when we feel whole, then we feel good. We're able to like be at our peak performance. So I sort of talked earlier about, you know, focusing on the students, but the other thing too I've been trying to do even more this year. I always tried to like bring some joy and spread some joy in my school, but this year it's even more. I mean, I've been trying to do little things. I did let's see, I bought people coffee. That was nice. That's fun. And it feels good for me too. And then the other thing, I don't know if anybody saw my tweet, I bought a bunch of bubbly and for teachers, and I've been giving those out and welcoming other people to come take some. My favorite was last week, I spent almost a week to get this together. I made a little like care package, if you will, that had like a little mixer, some little soda to top off the mixed drink with, some limes, a recipe that I typed up, and then I put it all in a brown paper bag, and then on the bag I like put this big sign that was like I said it was Treat Yourself Day, and from the show Parks and Rec, if you've ever seen that. I love Treat Yourself Day. And I gave that out to 6 or 7 people, and I just dropped it in their room before school. I had my students write little like cards to them, and I put them in the bags, so they got nice little messages from students kind of thanking them for all their hard work. But what I loved about this for me personally was it came during a really stressful week. We were having back to school night. I was able to give this to teachers the morning of back to school night, which is a super long day. But where it was good for me, get back to that point. See, I'm all over the place. Sorry about that. Where it was good for me is it took me, like I said, a week to get this together. And as Jennifer pointed out, we can decide sort of what we focus on, if something's joyful or not, work or play. And in that hard week leading up to back to school night, every day I had to kind of do something for this. Oh, I got to remember to go to the store to get this. Oh, I got to remember to type up the recipe. And what they were these little like joy moments, because building up to this gift that I was going to share. And I absolutely loved that level of intentionality to do like multiple steps each day. You know, make sure I ask my students to write things and get those in to their bags before, right? Like each day had something I had to do to prep for this, and it kind of spread out that joy for me. And then on that long days for those teachers, I was able to give them that. And that was super fun, super fun. Let's see what we have. Jennifer made it. Good to see you here. We're almost at our 11 thumbs up. We're 11 thumbs up. I need one, just a little more here. Let's see. Heather says, I need a whole teacher's table about your time in Italy. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if that would be a helpful episode, but it would be fun to sort of trade. Maybe we could have a whole episode of like past jobs we've had. That's not a bad idea. I'm going to write that down. Past jobs we've had and how they inform our job today. Love it. Past jobs. Little idea. I will tell you, having a little thing that you can just jot down ideas on. That's another thing with make time. Put your ideas down so that you don't forget them. Well, let's see. Amanda says, on Friday, my 6th grade girls asked me to do matching hair with them. You don't say no to that. All about the students. That's fantastic. No one's ever asked me to do that, but I will say, being playful with students is just, it helps them get through the day. I definitely do my fair share of dad jokes with my students, and that seems to be fun for them all too. I love all the side chatter here. I'm trying to catch up on a comment here, and there's just a ton of you guys back and forth, which is fantastic. Oof. All right. So I got another thing we can talk about here. I want to ask, do you guys have some tools you like to use that are great for some like creative work? So you can take like, I don't know, take that, take what would be just your normal like Google Doc assignment, but maybe you use this other tool to sort of spin it a little bit. So maybe the look of it looks nice. I'd love to hear like what tools you're using. For me, I've been using Google Slides for a lot of little tasks here. I'm going to show you a little thing you can do. All right, so here's a blank slide. For an activity I did the other day, I wanted them to make kind of a cool handout, but I wanted the graphical nature of Google Slides. And one of the tools I found you can do is you can go File, Page Setup. And so this is widescreen, great for your TV, great for a lot of projectors. You can make it that standard 4:3, which I think is no longer used at all, really. But then you can also go custom. This is kind of cool. And here in the United States, 8.5 times 11 is a sheet of paper. And then all of a sudden you have a page layout program, right? Where kids can make whatever you want. And when you print, I don't know if this will show up here, but when I go to, well, you won't see it. It downloads it, but it is a nice, on my Mac, it downloads it to be able to print it. But it ends up looking like a sheet of paper, and this is awesome. So we use Google Slides to sort of make this. I had them make this montage of stuff, but I really liked that it was a sheet of paper, so I could print them out. I could hang them up if I wanted, all those things. But I'm curious, what other like tools like that do you use, websites you use that might let you do something similar that are really easy for students to connect into as well? What does Jennifer Knox say? Google Slides makes any assignment more beautiful and fun. Fully agree. I've been using it a lot lately. That has definitely went way up in my use. I typically use Google Slides, and I hyperlink the various images I insert. It gives students more autonomy in what they do. That's fabulous. Love it. Have any of you used Deck Toys? It looks pretty fun, but I have not used it yet. I have not. Check it out here. Deck Toys. Fascinating. So it looks like you can make kind of like have people progress through a lesson. That's pretty cool. One that I learned about is this. I'm thinking about purchasing EDU Flow. It'll like you can build a flow that the students have to kind of go through for an activity. You can make it where they have prerequisites. You have to do certain things before you can unlock others. Some not so. Like you can make it, they're all available. There's some neat collaborative things you can do in here, and peer evaluation you can do in here, self-evaluation you can do in here. A lot of neat things you can do in that one, for sure. Let's see what Thomas has to say. MS Office in all its grace. The combination of Word, PowerPoint, and Excel is my personal micro grail. With the power of VBA coding in the background, I am diving deeply into this year. Wow. I gotta say, as a Mac guy, I don't use anything Microsoft. I either use Google tools or huge fan of Keynote and Pages. Pages is probably my favorite thing to build out any like handout in. I used to do my badges in there. Actually, I still do my badges. Used to do my items in there. Now I don't. See what Carrie says. I made my kids find a GIF to explain their vocab words. It was really great because it made them think more critically about the words. They couldn't just do a Google image search for it. That's fabulous. I like it. Neat idea. You can also put those in the background of a Google slide, which is kind of cool. Little known tip. Heather, I use this all the time. I add it as 11 by 8.5 to create a double layout that fits a composition notebook. Nice. Good call. Good call. I have used EDU Flow a bit. Love it so far. I've made like a practice course in it. I have not actually run students through it. This looks cool, writing it down in my planning notebook. I think any English teacher is going to love EDU Flow with like the peer editing you can do. You can build your own like questions that the peer reviewer has to go through. You can make it where they don't know who they're peer reviewing. It's pretty slick. Pretty slick for sure. We do have 14 likes. We need just a little more thumbs up there. We're down to like the last minute. Can we reach our goal of 15 on the like goals before we have to sign off here? it is time to go, people. Everyone, I do want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Teacher's Table. I'd love to hear from you guys if this time's working out, this Monday night time, or if we should just go to the Saturday morning times, one time a week. I don't know. Love to hear from you guys what you think works best for you. I know you're all busy, and I just want to make sure we're all able to make it to the table and that we're getting the value out that we want. So yeah, if you want to leave that in the comments down below or write it here off to the side, that would be awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming. It is great to have you here this week, and our next one is this coming Saturday morning. Lauren says both times are good. Good to know. Really appreciate it. And yeah, well, like I said, don't want to take any more of your time. I know we have all stuff to do. I'm going to be up till 1 a.m., so I'm going to get doing all of those things. Lauren, if you can, remember to write me on Twitter. I hope you're on Twitter. I'd love to hear from your math sort of experience. And like I said, maybe make that a episode of Well Played. I think a lot of people would love to hear that from you. That'd be great. Jeremy, thank you. See you tomorrow at XP Lab. Can't wait. And all right, sweet. Lauren, appreciate it. All right, everybody. You guys take care, and I'll see you later.